Welcome, Exiles! Today I want to share a few tips on how to make currency by selling Divination cards. Now, before we begin, if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing and turning on notifications. This helps a lot with YouTube algorithm and what videos get recommended to you, and it's highly appreciated by me. So, how do you make currency by Divination cards? You probably be collecting a whole bunch of them, not knowing what to do with them. It doesn't matter, for these tips, it doesn't matter if you have a card stash tab or you have just regular public stash tabs for selling. I do recommend just grabbing a public stash tab. Either way, you will, to make any currency, you will have to at least upgrade one or two stash tabs. So it's kind of pay to win to an extent, but you don't have to spend like a crazy sum of money. Just upgrade 2 tabs maybe, or buy few public stash tabs, then you can start selling items. You don't have to have this card stash tab, and I will like give you a few tips on how to pick up Divination cards, not to fill up your inventory bit later on. But for now, let's get to the main point, and we'll get to those extra tips afterwards. So to figure out how much is worth, like I pick up this card, how much is worth, I press Alt D with trade macro. I will also like quickly explain trade macro later on at the end of the video. But yeah, this worth 1 alc, I don't want to be selling that. What about this? What is this worth? 1 chaos. I don't want to be selling that. I don't want to be selling anything that's not worth at least 5 chaos, because it's kind of nearing, like the league already went through like few weeks and I already have some currency, and I rather be in maps killing stuff and getting currency that way than spending time in my hideout and trading for a few chaos or few alcs. Like I will sell something that's worth a bit more. So if I grab this, how much is this worth? 4 chaos, so I can put that for 4 chaos. Right click, 4 chaos. So you can also, if you kind of pick up something and it kind of goes away, so let's say I don't really know where it is. It's going to happen with some cards, like you pick it up and you, well, where is, I don't know. So yeah, if you pick up something like that and you know it's kind of worth something, like this is worth 2 alcs, not really worth it, but you can type it before you put it back in. You type it here like body armor or something, like partially, so you can find it really quickly once you put it back in. So you put the values there, but that's really time consuming, because as you can see, I've collected a whole bunch of them along the way. Probably like 19% of them are worthless. So how do you figure out which one is actually worth keeping, worth selling? Well, not worth keeping, worth selling, and not waste time. So we're going to be using poe.ninja website. This website is really awesome. It's going to tell you everything, how much something is worth by categories, so you can figure out what are the best stuff to farm, sell, and things like that. Also, like an extra tip here before I get to that, you can also see who is playing what, like how many people are playing which class. This is really amazing in my opinion. You can check a whole bunch of stuff, what are popular items. This way you can figure out which items are really like Watcher's Eye, for instance. Most of the people are using them, so if you can get one that is good and sell it, like Lion's Roar, for instance, I think that's a flask if I'm not mistaken. So if you see that item, if a lot of people are using it, it's probably worth something. Like I'm using roomies in my build for block chance, and I think I paid it 10 or 15 chaos for a good rolled roomies with good stats. So yeah, like you can also figure out what's kind of worth there and maybe farm it. Like you see, oh, roomie, where does that drop? Or you see Watcher's Eye, how do I get to that content and farm it to get some money? But yeah, that's kind of an extra tip. I mean, I am going to be throwing a lot of tips today, extra tips. So let's get to the cards. If you go to the cards, we see like Mirror of Calandra. Those are ridiculously expensive. And if I go copy paste this into like my stash tab, I don't have any. So it's obvious I don't have any. Because yeah, you won't drop them that easily. But if you go like this one, do I have it? Copy, go back, do I have it? Nope. And you go through all of them, like maybe not all of them, but up to 5 chaos. Like as you can see, there may be 20-30 cards that are actually worth more than 5 chaos. As I said, do you know how many cards there are? Like you can keep scrolling to infinity. There's ridiculous amount of cards, not ridiculous, but there are a lot of cards that are worth maybe 1 chaos or maybe 1 alch or something like that, like 0.3 chaos. That's kinda, we don't wanna be selling that. You could, for instance, like put like, you can see, you could, that's the different strategy. You could do that one if you don't even want to price check them this way. If you can put like 17 Exiles on a whole tab, you can set price on whole tab 17 Exiles, and then you go 16, and then it's best like few hours, 15, and you bring it down and you sell all of your cards that way. Like you don't price check anything, but my recommendation is like price check first, maybe up to 10 chaos, 12 chaos or something. So I actually sold one, that way I had the dragon heart, and I will show you the selling of that. Maybe I'm selling something, let's see. Yeah, we sold one, so we can invite the guy. I don't want to, I cannot see the cards like this because that's Mercury Trade doesn't work for that, so I will have to say here's the card. I will trade with the guy. I really hate when somebody trades me like that. Don't do that, because maybe I'm getting the item, so be respectful. And yeah, so let's throw a whole bunch of other tips at the end. First, we have seen maybe you don't have like this. So yeah, if you don't have this tab and you keep filling up your tabs with cards that are worthless, and maybe you even stop picking them up, that's what I did when I first started playing Path of Exile. I completely ignored the cards, and maybe I've missed some card that's worth something that way. So if you're new to the Path of Exile, just quickly use loot filters. If you're nearing the end of the end game, so you may be running tier 14, 15 maps, then keep it on something like very strict. If you're leveling, you can keep it on regular. And if you don't know how to get one, like loot filter, you go to filter blade XYZ, then you go to downloads, and my recommendation, download as a zip file and then unzip that. But if you don't have a zip program, you can grab 7-zip. It's free, it's open source, and doesn't have any adware or some crap package with it, so it's really awesome program for unzipping stuff. So grab that if you need it. Once you download that, go back into the game, then you click on show folder. That's going to pop up where you need to actually unzip that. As you can see, I have these filters installed now, so just unzip that .filter files and you're done. So you just reload it, pick which one you want, reload, pick which one you want. Once you reload, saved, and you're done. So you can see only the items that are actually worth something, worth picking up. So when you pick up some card, let's say something dropped, okay, I cannot really drop it in here and pick it up because I'm going to destroy it. If it was in map, I could drop it on ground, but it dropped. You have it in your inventory. You can price check it right away before you if you decide if you want to keep put it on sale or not before you put it in here, and then you price it and you're done. So like you're making some currency off of it. It's not like gathering dust, because most of them you probably won't even get a full stack. It's more likely that you will forget that you even dropped one, and later on it's just going to gather dust, because most of those cards dropped in particular maps, a particular set of maps, or maybe drop on one map, and maybe you just did one of those maps, maybe a few of those maps, but maybe you drop one or two of those cards and you need 8, for instance. So you're just going to, just going to sit there and collect dust. So it's not worth to you anything if you don't sell it. Or maybe if you have near the stack, maybe you can buy one and then trade it in, then sell that item, or maybe it's something good, maybe you're going to use it. But either way, like, this is a quick tip on how to actually make money off of it. And you've been seeing me use pressing Alt D and seeing the price of something. So this was maybe 5 chaos, we can put that for sale. So yeah, that is trade macro. So you get trade macro from GitHub, PoE trade macro. You search that in Google and get to GitHub. To use this, you need auto hotkey script, and then you just download the latest version being like releases, and you can find the zip file, unzip it. So yeah, that's the latest version usually. Where are we? So download the latest version, unzip it, and run trade macro auto hotkey, and you're kind of done with it. Then it's going to start, and your game has to be in window mode, and you can use these commands. So Alt D, where is it? Why do I not see it? Alt D is for price checking, yeah. So you search on PoE trade, and there's like a few more advanced variant. So let's say you have some item, like something extra, like we can, I don't know, just picking on random. This is not worth for Exile, this is worth nothing, but I just throw in the items. I don't check them if like trade macro is lagging and not like responding. I just throw them in, and the few times I sold something that was worth, maybe trade macro said it was worth 10 chaos, I sold it for a few exiles. So like, take that with a grain of salt, what is saying. Usually for unique items you can trust it to an extent. For instance, for Watcher's Eyes, they can roll different stats, so some are worth something, some are not. So what you want to do is Alt Shift D instead, and then force it to check some stat. Like you say, it has to have these 3 stats, and then if there's some unique stat, you can then like force it to check that stat for Watcher's Eyes, and you can click search, and does it have something like, yeah, this is still not worth anything, so I should probably sell that. But yeah, you can force see if your stats that you've been given on your particular item are actually really good, and you're kind of so you can drop the max stats and kind of check that way and see if it's actually worth more. This one isn't, so yeah, that's kind of extra tip. So I can sell this, it's not worth anything. Yeah, so like we gone over trade macro, and you actually seen me trade with other people. This is called Mercury Trade. I actually didn't set this up. So PoE Mercury Trade, and you also get that one of GitHub, and there are there are instructions. Mercury Trade is one of my favorite Path of Exile scripts or programs, add-ons to use. It keeps track of all of your trades. You can trade with multiple people without losing track with who are you trading with. So definitely give it a go. It sometimes bugs out, you have to reset it, it's not like perfectly stable, but other than that, it's definitely, if you're trading a lot, it's the program to get alongside the trade macros, so definitely recommend getting this. Yeah. So guys, like, I've been throwing a whole bunch of tips at you. I really hope that you use some of them to make some currency, to invest into your build and be able to do all the content in the game and have as much fun as I am playing Path of Exile. So anyways, thank you for watching and good luck slaying monsters in Rayclast, and you can like the video. So see you next one.